The image of the United States of America in most of the world is defined by the American cowboy. That's at the heart of the image of the United States. The image of the American cowboy actually comes from a short 10-year period of the great cattle drives out west.
The cowboy is viewed as the American hero, like John Wayne.
What folks don't realize is, of all states, Florida was the first to have the horse, and Florida was the first to have the cow. Florida was the first to have the American cowboy.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that the first cowboys in America were from Florida.
My family's been in agriculture in this country since 1635, every single generation.
I rode a horse in here when I was 10 years old. It was 1937, and all this was open range.
People ask me when I'm gonna retire. I've never had a job. What I do is fun.
I was born in Okeechobee. I grew up on about every ranch around here.
We had no telephones, and we had no electricity, and, you know, we cow hunted.
It's a hard lifestyle, and not many people want it, but the ones that have it wouldn't trade it for the world.
You can't learn it in a book, can't learn it on the internet. You've got to get out and do it.
It's got to be in your blood, it's got to be in your heart, because you're not going to get rich. It's not very prestigious, long, hard days.
Everybody loves what they do. They love to have a good time. They're hard workers.
They're also a people that has a great respect for women and children.
That's South Florida history, and that's where the cowboy name and the cowboy heritage lives.
We are people of the land. Our roots and our heels are in the dirt.
You cannot be in this business and go against natural forces.
Being good stewards of the land is what we do and have done for generations.
Back in the older days, your word and your integrity was so you needed. Yeah, it's a different world today.
We do hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of business on a handshake. And that's all you need.
Honesty, integrity, truth. What's that worth?
I think we have an awful lot to be proud of. Wouldn't want to be anything but a cracker.
This is the way of life. The dying breed. There's not that many left anymore. This is real, not just in the movies.
When we pulled down here, the calf fell off in that steep ditch there. I seen it from back there drowning, and I didn't want it to drown, but I'd give it a little time to let them cows get away from it, because the mama will get you. So as soon as it was clear, I jumped in the ditch and grabbed her. Hyacinths are thick, but it was a dead calf.
Yeah, it would have been. I seen his head go under.
It was a couple times. I seen it was getting weaker. I knew I had to get to it then. Then I thought that mama cow was gonna come down on top of me. I thought she was gonna charge me. That's why I slid back down in the ditch.
Boy, if he would have shot that, that'd been a dead calf. He's about to drown. Yeah, go. Move. Randy, don't move. Stay put.
Of all states, Florida was the first to have the horse, and Florida was the first to have the cow. Florida was the first to have the American cowboy. In 1521, Ponce de Leon brought horses and cattle and landed them on the lower Gulf Coast of the state of Florida. That was 19 years before Coronado took the very first horses and cows to the American Southwest.
Way back in the days of old, men that served for wealth untold.
Do you realize that that's 99 years before the Pilgrims landed in 1620? But what do they teach our children about the beginnings of America? Somehow Florida gets left out of the story.
Calling to you like a long lost friend, I know who you are.
When the Pilgrims landed, we already had men and women on horseback raising open-range cattle here in the state of Florida. We already had the American cowboy.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barely that little fillet, the cow pens, I guess, George. Seems like most everybody in this lifestyle ends up with a nickname. His is, we all like it, but now he might not when he gets older, but he likes it now anyhow. Started out being Poot Nanny, and it's gone from Poot Nanny just down to Poot. So. And his daddy is Bear. That's my youngest brother. And got his sidekick today. He hasn't started school yet, just preschool. We put him to work. We try to start them young. By the time they're 8 or 9 years old, they ought to be decent help. Well, Dad's got his saying. One boy's pretty good help. Two are fair. One boy you got quite a bit of help.
One boy, you got a boy.
Two, you got a little bit of help.
Two boys, you got a half a boy. And
Three, you got trouble.
three boys, you've got trouble.
Three, you got trouble. We usually got at least three. So.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that the first cowboys in America were from Florida.
Our family came to the East Coast in 1874. We brought the first cattle and the first school teacher.
I rode a horse in here when I was 10 years old. It was 1937, and all this was open range.
My family's been in agriculture in this country since 1635, every single generation.
We had no telephones, and we had no electricity, and that's what we did. You know, we cow hunted.
I've had a cowboy hat on my head ever since I can remember.
I was born in Okeechobee. I grew up on about every ranch around here.
A lot of people, they say, I can't believe that there's cows in Florida. All they've ever done is come right on the coast.
Of all states, Florida was the first to have the horse, and Florida was the first to have the cow. Florida was the first to have the American cowboy.
What we're going to do, we're going to go in some old grove. When we see some hogs and we turn the dogs on them, and they go down there, just hang right here, and he's going to try to take the buggy right up to where the action's at. Did you just see a hog? Oh yeah, that's a good bull hog in there. They're going to cross that ditch. Boy, they're going to get over in that. That's what we call a good bull hog right there. I mean, we don't know what kind of teeth he's got in his mouth, but he's a good bull.
He goes 200 plus right there. Easy. Right now he's trying to rope him, rope around his teeth. You know what I mean? That's the dangerous part right there.
We gotta get him back over there. We need a rope that where we can pull him. Get some rope.
You don't see that many other places.
Our branch of the family came to the East Coast in 1874. We brought the first cattle with us when we came. We're all graduate of the School of Hard Knocks.
At that time, there was only one occupation you could have in Florida.
As long as there's rough woods that's got a cow in it, they're gonna have to have somebody like us to go get them.
And there are many families who have been in the cattle industry and still are to this day.
My children were born and raised here on the ranch, and if you expose them to horses and dogs and guns and cattle, most of them like it.
A lot of people, they say, I can't believe that there's cows in Florida. All they've ever done is come right on the coast.
People ask me when I'm gonna retire. When I've never had a job, what I do is fun.
You got to enjoy doing it or you wouldn't do it, because what we deal with and do, most people wouldn't do.
That's why I get out here and do it every day, because it's fun. And you can't never tell what's gonna happen. There's always something different.
I was overwhelmed, knocked out. It was fabulous.
We drove right through them Everglades, and I mean not a fence in sight.
It told a history that most people don't know ever happened, and it tells about a present that most people don't know is happening.
And to see this film and the history and the old families, it was special. It was just, I think it was incredible.
Well, I told you, I'm no actor. I'm just what I am. I'm just an old cowboy, that's all.
It makes you feel like you could be a part of the movie. It welcomes you right in.
A lot of people, they say, Lord, Miss Harris, I can't believe that there's cows in Florida.
Everybody thinks about Mickey Mouse and Orlando when they think about Florida. But this showed that there's a whole nother side to Florida that people don't realize.
And I think a lot of people will see that and go, wow, I've been to Florida, but I came and went on a cruise. I didn't realize I was in cattle country, that they actually had this before Texas, before the Western cowboy.
It was great to see that story get told. I think people, once they see it, they're going to be like, wow, I had no idea.
This wasn't scripted. These were genuine people telling their life story.
It was very poignant. I mean, to see the generations and the children carrying on from their fathers, their grandfathers, their great-grandfathers.
I was gonna leave after high school. I got a rodeo scholarship to go to in Texas, but I had a hard time leaving this place.
When you hear those people talk about their culture and their life, you could see the sincerity and the passion that they have for what they have. And I feel like, wow, that touched me.
I think it's going to open up people's minds and it's going to open up their eyes about losing a history and losing a culture if we're not very careful.
We are people of the land. Our roots and our heels are in the dirt.
The things that people had to say about the land and the things we need to do to save it, that really had a big impact on me. I think it's going to hit a lot of people right in the heart.
I believe this movie makes you sit down and think. Makes you think we need to work harder to preserve the green spaces that we have and to preserve the cultures that have made Florida and our country great.
It's just a great message for America.
People ask me when I'm gonna retire. You got to have a job to retire from, and I've never had a job. What I do is fun.
It's been a marvelous experience. I thought the movie was very well done. I think it tells a story that needs to be told and needs to be heard.
I just really enjoyed it, and I hope everyone gets a chance to see it and enjoy it the way I did.
There was a lot to be said and a lot was heard. I think it's going to reach a lot of people in a good way.
Would I recommend this? Absolutely. This needs to be told, and there are millions of people I know will want to see this.